that swing.
Congratulations on buying the swing jacket. Hello, I'm Jim Hardy, and I'm here to teach you how to get the best results from the swing jacket, how to use it so the swing jacket becomes your teacher. It'll not only teach you correct mechanics, but it's going to teach you the correct feel of a golf swing. Now, in order to accomplish that today, there are several objectives I'd like to do. First of all, I want to teach you how to put the swing jacket on and how to fit it so it'll be most effective when you go to use it. Second of all, I'd like to do a few things before you start using the swing jacket. I'd like to run through the correct grip and the correct stance and the correct posture. So when you do start swinging with the swing jacket on, we've got those things in place. Finally, I'm going to show you the way to use the swing jacket so you'll get the best results you can possibly get.
I've been offered a lot of opportunities to endorse products and be in infomercials and to sell products. And to be quite honest with you, if I didn't like the product, I wouldn't endorse it, because if I didn't use it myself, then I'm not going to back it. I used the swing jacket. The minute I saw it, I put it on, I made one swing, I knew I wanted to be involved in the project, and Jim Hardy is the same way. Jim played the tour for 10, 12 years. He was a good player, still has one of the best golf swings I've ever seen in the game. He saw it, he loved it, and he knew it would be a great tool to help his pupils. He's used it, people have improved their game with it, and I believe in it, and that's why I'm endorsing it, because I use it and I wholeheartedly recommend it for golfers of all levels and all handicaps.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Clay Elkins to you. Hi, Clay.
Hi, Jim.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Clay was one of our volunteers that we used on the infomercial, and Clay's results were so phenomenal during the infomercial, both in distance and in accuracy, that we asked Clay back today in order to help us as a student to use the swing jacket. First thing I'd like to do with Clay is let's talk about putting the swing jacket on itself. Now, you notice on the back of the swing jacket, there's a couple of straps back here. Now, there's a pamphlet that you've been given with your swing jacket that's going to teach you how to adjust these straps to fit your chest size, anywhere from a 36 to a 50. But once you've got it adjusted about where you're going to need it, you simply put the straps on the back of your chest and bring the swing jacket around in front of you. First thing you should notice in order to have it on correctly is these rails will be on the top of the swing jacket, not on the bottom. If you've got them on the bottom, you've got the swing jacket on upside down. You should see these rails as a smile, not a frown. They slightly turn up this way. Now, once you have it on, it goes up around your chest. You'll notice there's 3 tabs and 3 holes. You just simply put the tabs through the holes and then turn the tabs, locking them in place. And then you're going to find, according to the pamphlet, that you can go ahead and adjust the swing jacket tabs on the side. That's going to bring it up snug to your chest. If it doesn't bring it up snug to your chest, you refer to your pamphlet. You can readjust the back straps, and pretty soon you'll get it adjusted just so it's just right for you. Now, the next thing we're going to do is learn how to put the arms through the cuffs. I want you to notice very closely that the cuff belongs on the inside next to the jacket and above the rail, not below the rail, because that will twist the cuff. It has to be above the rail and straight, and your arm simply fits right down through to whereby now the cuff is still above the rail on the inside of your arm with the Velcro strap that goes through the tab, through the slot. You simply adjust it to where it's tight. Once again, the same way, you can see, hold your arm out here for a second. You can see how it is. It's not twisted downward. The sleeve actually fits up above the rail. So when you put your arm down through, the sleeve is still above the rail. Gets his arms down through, pulls it up. Clay, why don't you adjust that to where it feels comfortable for you? So that's how easy it is to put on one of these swing jackets. You can do it yourself. I would suggest that once you have found the right comfortable fit for you in the back, that you simply take a pen the next time you have it off and you make a couple of marks right in here that kind of show where the swing jacket's supposed to be for you. That way you can put it back there the same way every time. One last thing you might check is the location of the swing jacket must be fairly high on your chest. It shouldn't be down around your stomach or your waist area, but it needs to be up on your chest pretty good. If it gets down on your chest pretty far, you're going to have a hard time hitting the golf ball. So make sure it's up on the upper part of your chest. Now that we've covered how to correctly put the swing jacket on, there's some things I'd like to talk to you about before we actually start using the swing jacket. Clay, if you could bring us a couple of clubs. You know, the swing jacket's going to teach you some marvelous things about the golf swing. But before we start using the swing jacket, we have to learn what the correct grip is and what the correct posture and stance is, because if you don't have the correct grip and you don't have the correct posture, the swing jacket's not going to do us any good. Now, basically, the grip is held in the fingers when we play golf. Let me show you how to put that in the fingers. First of all, on the left hand, you need to put it right across that first finger and then right at the base of the other fingers. So most of the left hand is above the grip. Once again, in the fingers, base of the fingers, so most of your left hand is above. Now, if you'll bring it down with the thumb right down the shaft, you'll find that it forms a V, and that V should point somewhere towards your right shoulder. If it's pointing at your chin, it's what we call too weak a grip, and if it's pointing too much to outside of your shoulder, it's too strong. You go through that again, right through the fingers, right the base of the fingers, put your thumb down the shaft. The V, once again, should point somewhere towards the right shoulder. Now, the right hand also belongs in the fingers. It's going to be right in the fingers, never in the palm. Palm's the wrong place, it's the wrong size of grip. Most people like to put the club in the palm with their right hand because they feel more powerful that way. You're not going to be more powerful, you're going to be slower. I can only move the club this fast in my palm, but in my fingers, I've got a lot of life. So let's get it in the fingers of the right hand so we've got lively, quick hands, not very still hands. And as far as the V in the right hand, the V in the right hand will also point somewhere towards the right shoulder. Now, as far as fingers on the back side go, this is a baseball grip that just slid down here. This would be an overlap, that would be an interlock. Those are kind of different fundamentals for each one of you, and for any beginners out there trying that, try any of the three. The most important thing is both hands are held in the fingers, not in the palms, and that the V's formed by your hand and your thumb point towards the right shoulder. Once we've got the right grip, let's talk about the correct posture. There are a lot of ways to try and figure out how to get in the correct posture, but I think I have a new one for you that's the simplest. First of all, you've got to bend from the hips and not the waist. Now, the easiest way to learn how to bend from the hips is to take your shoulder blades and try and pull them back to where they touch, almost as though you'd be pulling your chest way back. Now, once you've got your shoulders pulled back, simply bend over, holding them back. That forces you to bend from the hips. Pull them back, bend. Now relax your shoulders. Don't stand there this way, but pull them back, bend. That's from the hips. If you hold your shoulders forward and bend, you'll always bend from the waist. If you bend from the waist, you're not in a position where your big muscles will move correctly. So to find the best posture, shoulder blades trying to touch, bend. That gets you bending from the hips. Now relax, and you'll find that you're in the right position. I remember the first time we met, you were here volunteering for the test results for the swing jacket. And I remember when you first put it on. Tell me, how did it feel? What was it like first time you put on the swing jacket?
I couldn't swing at all. It was pretty awkward. I couldn't move. I couldn't swing because I couldn't move my arms.
Well, there's a reason you couldn't swing your arms, is because a golf swing for you had always been all arms. That's all you had felt, and you had moved your arms around in a very disjointed way relative to your body, and you had always kind of fished for the golf ball with your hands and arms and club instead of correctly turning your body. What else did you feel?
Well, Jim, as soon as I tried to hit the ball, I couldn't hit the ball. I was topping it, missing it, but when I did hit it, it would die real hard and left, wouldn't go anywhere.
Well, there's a reason you couldn't hit that ball once again, because you hadn't quite learned how to use the swing jacket, and as a result you were still trying to find the ball with your hands and arms, and you noticed that your hands and arms were connected to the rails on the swing jacket, and they weren't free to just kind of throw the club around. And so when you weren't using the swing jacket correctly, your hands and arms couldn't find that ball anymore, and so you did top it a lot, didn't you? What else?
Well, as soon as you taught me how to turn, almost immediately I started making contact, and it was more solid, and I was hitting the ball further and with a nice little draw instead of my old slice.
Well, that's what this video is all about, is once somebody's got the swing jacket on, what we really need to do is teach them how to effectively use it, because they're going to find that their old habits are now limited. They can't do their old habits. They're going to find that there's going to be new habits that are going to happen. The swing jacket's going to teach it to them, and I'm going to teach you how to effectively use that swing jacket. Well, you'll notice that when you first put the swing jacket on, and you're going to find out you're going to stand there and you can't swing. Go ahead and take your grip there, Clay, for a moment. You see, with the swing, with your arms locked to these rails, there's only a certain way your arms can move. Most people, when they start swinging a golf club, the first thing they do is they start wildly swinging their arms up in the air, very disconnected from their body. You'll find with the swing jacket on, you can't do that. And when Clay first put that swing jacket on, he turned to me, and I can remember that day, he says, I can't swing, I can't make a swing. That's because Clay's idea of a golf swing had always been all arms. He had never learned how to correctly use his body. You see, a golf swing is divided into two different areas. The first area is learning how to swing the club with your hands and arms, so your hands, arms, and club are swinging not only on the right plane, but in the right direction. Congratulations on buying the swing jacket, because the swing jacket gives that to you. Half of the game of the golf you've just purchased. You cannot make the wrong swing with your hands, arms, and clubs with the swing jacket on. That's why your hands and arms are attached to this rail, because this rail is going to guide your arms and your hands and your club through the golf swing correctly. That's half the golf swing given to you. The other half of the golf swing you're going to have to supply. And I'm going to teach you how to supply it, and that's the turns. Since the swing jacket is taking care of the correct motion of the hands, arms, and club in the golf swing, it's absolutely paramount to get the most out of the swing jacket to learn the correct turns in the golf swing. Now, there's only two. One is the backswing turn, the other is the downswing turn. So let's take them one at a time. Now, what we're trying to do in the backswing turn is turn around your spine. Now, if you remember when we talked a while ago, I had to learn the correct posture to bend my spine over so my spine was fairly straight, not curved. The reason I wanted that correct posture so we could go over a straight spine is we're going to turn around it. That's a lot like turning a barrel. If I had the barrel standing straight up, my shoulder turn and my body turn would be very, very parallel to the ground, as you can see. Now, once I take that spine and tip it over, the turn is all of a sudden going to start taking on a slightly different look. As I turn, it's the same thing as when I used to turn up here, but now when I turn around my spine, and you can see the golf club is moving more on an incanted plane. Now, the plane that turns on should be just outside the golf ball, anywhere from a couple inches to 18 inches. It doesn't have to be that correct, but it does have to have some degree of incline to it rather than trying to turn. This isn't a turn this way. Now let's look at the turn from this angle, because there's a couple of things that are very important in the backswing from this angle. First of all, as you turn, your head should either remain perfectly still or it should move slightly to the right. There's one place your head can never move in a backswing, and that's to the left. So as you make your turn, let's hold the head steady, or let's move it a little to the right. The second thing I want you to notice from this angle is the angle of my right leg. While I make my turn, you'll notice that the angle of that right leg either stays right there or actually might even increase a little bit. What we can never have happen is while you're trying to make your turn, your right hip slides out from underneath you and the thing goes this way. That causes what's called a reverse pivot. So from this angle, what we're trying to do is keep our head still or move it to the right and keep our leg in the same angle or even increase that angle. Now before you start hitting golf balls in the swing jacket, I want you all to put on the swing jacket and rehearse in front of the mirror at home so you can get these things correctly. Now it's very easy to stand in front of the mirror and find your spine angle. Once you've found the spine angle, just put a club up here on your shoulders with a swing jacket on and make a good turn. See, once you've made that turn, if that club is pointing this way or if it's too level here. Keep rehearsing that turn in your shoulders. From over here, take a look at the mirror from the angle I'm at. Look up and see if your head is remaining fairly steady. It's okay if it moves a little to the right, but notice this leg and this part in particular. As you turn, you can see that I'm not losing ground to the right. That's when you get in trouble. It's when that happens and it gets that way. So a backswing turn is primarily upper body, and it's a turn around your spine. Clay, let's see you try a couple of them. First of all, from facing the mirror that way, put the club up, that's fine. Now, we're gonna bend over into your posture. You're gonna keep your head either fairly steady or move it to the right, and you're gonna go ahead and make your turn. And you'll notice Clay maybe straightened up a little too much. He'd have been better there and let his head come across over this way. Fairly typical mistakes that students will make. Try it again. And if you can't quite get into place, you'll find that coming around here by moving the hips a little bit more forward and the upper body a little bit more this way, you can see that he's a little bit more centered. Go ahead and give it a try again. That's perfect. Good for you, Clay. Now let's talk a little bit about the downswing turn. The backswing turn is made primarily with the upper body. The downswing turn is made primarily with the lower body. Now when I say the lower body, particularly with the left hip, to easily turn the left hip, if you'll zero in on this pants pocket, right here the bottom of your pants pocket, that's what we'll refer to as the left hip. It's not quite, but it's the easy place for all of us to find. Now once you've made a good backswing turn, if you'll grab a hold of that left pants pocket at the bottom, and it's going to do two things. It's going to move slightly towards the target, but it's also going to turn around what I call behind your shoe. Now if you do those two things, you'll find that that unwinds the upper body in the proper way, it shifts your weight, and it leaves you standing very balanced on your left leg, looking at the target. Clay, let's see you try that. That's it. Right there. And as if I come around here to Clay, go to the top and stop. Here I'm going to find this pants pocket right here. It's going to move towards my hand, and it's going to move around behind his heel, just like that. And you can see how easily he stays on balance as well. Now go to the top again. If instead I'd said, let's get over here and start pushing this out there, you can see it throws him up in the air, and it puts the golf club in such a place that it won't hit the ground, won't hit the golf ball either. A lot of you who are going to have problems topping and shanking the golf ball, it's because you might make a good backswing turn and then make a horrible downswing turn. Let me show you what that looks like from this angle. Once I've made a good backswing right here, and as I start down, you can see my hips are relatively parallel with the target line. Now what has to happen is this left hip has to come behind my shoe, which lets the right hip come forward. Now you've heard it a lot in teaching where they say turn the left hip out of the way. Nobody ever explained out of the way of what? Is a bus coming? Is a herd of elephants coming? No, the right hip is what's coming. That's what we're going to turn out of the way. When we're down here, we're going to turn that left pocket out of the way to make room for the right hip to come through. And you can see, if I don't turn the left hip out of the way, the right hip is going to turn in the way. The left hip's here, the right hip has nowhere to go but out towards the ball. You can see it throws my posture in the air, throws the club wildly over the top of the golf ball, and you'll top of your shank. You see, the turns that you have to learn are so paramount to effectively using your swing jacket, because if you turn wrong, your arms and club are going to go in the wrong place. If you turn correctly, the swing jacket is going to automatically guide your arms and the club into the right place. So once again, let's see the correct backswing turn. There you can see it. He's got a nice angle to his shoulders. It's not too vertical and it's not too horizontal. That put him in the right place at the top. Now come on back down to impact. That's it. By moving his lower left side, this pocket I talked about, you can see it brought him right down from the inside. Didn't bring him inside out, didn't bring him outside in. The arms followed the exact place the body tried to put him in correct impact. Now as he continues to turn the left hip around to the left, you'll find that the golf club comes back on around and right up. So the important thing is, if you move your body correctly, the golf swing is going to be not only in the right plane, but in the right direction. That's thanks to the swing jacket, because you can't move it the wrong way as long as you're turning correctly. Now what I'd like for you all to do before you hit golf balls is to practice this backswing and this downswing in front of a mirror. It's very important you get that right. Then we're going to go out and hit some golf balls. Speaking of that, why don't we go hit some golf balls?
I'm ready.
All right.
I play in so many pro-ams on the tour, and you try to help your amateurs because the amateurs want to improve just like me. But I will take an amateur and I will literally place the club where I want it to be at the top. And then they can make a practice swing and it's perfect. But the minute they make a swing at the ball, it's totally back to the old golf swing. You put them in the swing jacket and they make that practice swing and it's perfect, but then they're forced to make that same perfect swing over the ball, and it's like a whole new world opens to them. And that's what excites me about it, because you now, instead of wasting all the words and all of the demonstrations and all of the rigmarole of trying to get them to do it properly, you put them on, put the swing jacket on them, and boom, they say, oh, that's what you want me to do. And it's like an instant lesson.
I'll tell you what, before we start hitting full shots, I'd really like to do a little drill that I think is, if you master that drill before you hit full shots, it's going to help you a lot in your progress, and that's for you folks too. Once you've learned, you've felt that you're very comfortable in front of the mirror with the kind of swings you're making, then when you get to the golf course, there's a drill of half shots that I'd like for you to do. Now when I say a half shot, what's a half shot? It is a half shot. Meaning if you've got a 7-iron and you normally hit it about 140 yards, half shot would be 70 yards. So it's a halfway back, halfway through swing. Looks a lot like this. You're still going to make a full turn, but your arms are only going to go back about waist high. You're going to find your left hip and you're going to make a full turn in the follow through, but you're going to only have your arms go about halfway through. Now the reason to keep the arms very, very short is we're trying to de-emphasize the arm swing, emphasize the correct turns of the body. Very, very important we have the correct turns of the body once again. You're also going to find that this little drill starts to have a rhythm that kind of goes shoulders, hips, shoulders, hips. And the arms aren't moving very much, shoulders, hips, right there. Halfway, shoulders, hips, until it's almost a mesmerizing kind of thing where you say to yourself, shoulders, hips, shoulders, hips. Say it out loud while you're doing it. It will start to give you the metronome of your golf swing. The metronome of your golf swing should be located in the pivot of the body rather than in the swinging of the hands and arms. If you just say shoulders, hip, shoulders, hip, you'll all of a sudden find that you're picking the golf ball up with better tempo, better balance, better rhythm, better timing than you ever have. In this little half drill, you'll be hitting the ball solidly every single time. Let's go ahead and try a few here, Clay. Little half swings, and all counted out, shoulders, hip. Good. Do it again. Shoulder, hip. That's it. Now one of the things we've worked hard on Clay on with the golf swing is to keep his shoulder angle during his backswing. Clay tends to swing his shoulders too flat, and when he swings his shoulders too flat, the club goes around on the inside too flat. So as Clay, as you're doing this, even this, be very aware that when you turn, you're turning on the right angle. Same thing, almost say it out loud to yourself, Clay, shoulders and hip.
Shoulders, hips.
Good, that's perfect shot right there.
Shoulders, hips.
Good for you.
Shoulders, hips.
Beautiful, those are beautiful shots. You can see Clay, one more here, Clay. You can see Clay has certainly mastered this little drill.
Shoulders, hips.
He's also all of a sudden found the metronome to his golf swing is now located in the rhythm of his body turns rather than in his swinging of his arms. His hands and arms are along for the ride, and I will say to you the correct ride because he's got the swing jacket on. Now all he's got to do is remember the feel of that correct ride. When I say ride, his arms ride up and down on the rails of the swing jacket. They're getting a free ride. They're not thrusting about independently. They're getting this free ride. And all you have to do, Clay, is memorize that when you have the swing jacket off. Now let's keep working. Now let's go into the full swing here. Still the same thing. Still 2 correct turns. And he can feel it in his shoulders and left hip here too. You can see if you watch Clay swing, the tempo and rhythm of the swing, even though he's now hitting a full shot, hasn't changed much. It's still shoulder, hip. Beautiful, Clay. That's gorgeous. Here's a man hitting very powerful little draws out there. Who somebody, when I first met him, poofed the ball up in the air and just hit little weak fades.
Loving it.
Very good, Clay. I just want to summarize a few things for you. If you recall, once we got the swing jacket on, we learned how to correctly grip the golf club and to correctly take our posture. If you're still confused about those, I'd suggest you review that part of the tape. As far as the swing itself goes, we've got to learn to make a good upper body turn in the backswing, a good left hip lower body turn in the downswing. When you learn those 2 turns, all you've got to do then is memorize the feeling you had of your arms tied into those turns, tied into wherever the turns are going, the arms are going too. The golf swing is no longer too upright, too flat, too much inside out, too much out to in. You've got it on a perfect plane in the right direction.
Well, I don't want to mislead anybody and tell them that you buy this swing jacket and it's going to turn you into a scratch player. That is not going to happen. You don't become a good player or a great player without hard work. Look at the great players in the history of the game. It didn't happen overnight. It took many years of hard work, and that is true for the average player. If they want to take strokes off their game, they've got to practice properly. And with the swing jacket, you can do that. But 5 swings in the swing jacket a day is not going to improve your swing. 10 is better than 5, 20 is better than 10, et cetera, et cetera. You've got to work at it. No differently than if you work on your putting, your chipping, or your bunker play. The more you wear the swing jacket, no matter what level of golfer you are, if you're an athlete, and I don't think amateur players today give themselves enough credit for being good athletes. They're good athletes, and they can hit the ball properly. With the swing jacket on, given some time and some patience, you're gonna hit the ball better.
On behalf of all the people at Swing Jacket, we'd like to thank you for purchasing our product. I'd also like to thank the people at Black Horse Golf Club for the wonderful use of their facilities. If you're ever in Houston, I'd invite you out to play 36 holes of the most beautiful golf you'll ever see anywhere. Let me remind you, the people at Swing Jacket are very interested in your success. So much that that's why we made this video, to teach you the proper use of the Swing Jacket. I'd encourage you to please use it, and good luck.
Additional assistance and golf course facilities also provided by the Landmark Golf Club, Indio, California, the Raven Golf Club, Phoenix, Arizona, and the Legacy Golf Resort, Phoenix, Arizona.